Is the TV industry dead? This is a brilliant comment, actually. It's worth going and reading it all the way through because there are two citations in here that I think I kind of disagree with. The first one is you can't expect 16-year-olds to watch shows on BBC Two. I think you can. What you can't expect them to do is discover new shows on BBC Two, right? And the place that BBC does most of its advertising for its core audience is on its own channel, right? It tells you what else is going to be on BBC Two. And 16-year-olds are not watching BBC Two, right? They're watching streamers, they're watching YouTube, they're watching TikTok. But there's very, very good evidence to show that if you're putting clips of your show up on TikTok, those get into the algorithm, they find the audience. You can push this, you can push page behind this, and people will go to wherever that thing is. They're very used to going, oh, this looks really cool. What is it on? Netflix? Okay, I'll go there. What is it on Amazon Prime? Okay, I'll go there. What is it on YouTube? Okay, I'll go there. They don't mind necessarily about the platform. And in my previous job, we were doing some really intense looking at like what the value of film and TV is. And actually, it's massively skewed, right? Not all TV has good value. But for instance, when Stranger Things hits Netflix, all of the people that have churned off of Netflix come back to Netflix for like 2 months. So there's $30 there of value that they're valuing that one piece of IP so highly that they will reactivate subscriptions for. And so that I think is really, really interesting. The other assertion in here is that 60-year-olds aren't watching YouTube. And like that's the biggest growth demographic on YouTube at the moment. Like they are starting to, right? They're working out what this is and they're realizing like my option is endless reruns of stuff that I've probably already seen on daytime TV. Or if I go to YouTube, there's this whole other world. Like I can watch like, all of the undiagnosed autistics in six, and I say that as probably an undiagnosed autistic, but all of that undiagnosed autism in 60-year-olds is being like, oh, I can watch somebody rebuild a clock. That's really interesting. Like I can watch 10 hours of somebody pulling apart a car. Like that is phenomenal watching. And yeah, massive growth industry there. But again, I don't think YouTube is a particularly good way to monetize for any creator, unless you're doing the kind of like pseudo TikTok thing, right? Like put lots of content out and build over time. But I think there are quicker ways to build, if I'm perfectly honest. Anyway, great comment. Really, really interesting insight on the industry. I love having these conversations.